Certainly, one of the benefits of workplace safety inspections is compliance with health and safety regulations and standards. However, the main purpose of inspections is accident prevention. The most effective inspector is the person who actually works in the specific work area, since no one knows the area better than the person who works there. You're the expert. You're the safety inspector. To assist you in your responsibilities of workplace inspections, an inspection checklist is provided for your use. Remember that checklists are only guidelines. They cannot list every safety hazard, rule, or standard, or every possible situation. A checklist is only a guide. It's up to you to add your experience, expertise, and knowledge in identifying potential safety hazards, even if they're not listed on the checklist. Before you begin your inspection, visualize how the area should look from a safety standpoint. Take a minute to think about safety and the changes that could be made to make the area safer. This attitude should be used throughout the inspection process. Your objective is to identify potential safety hazards so they can be corrected. During inspections, you may find unsafe or hazardous conditions that can be corrected immediately, such as oil spills, leaks, or trash on the floor. If you can correct the situation, please do so. If you can't correct the situation, notify your supervisor or the appropriate person immediately. Before we discuss the inspection form, let's review some basics to help you identify safety hazards. Housekeeping is one of the most important safety aspects of any working environment. Poor housekeeping is a reflection of an attitude, and poor housekeeping is an indicator that safety may not have the priority it deserves. Trash or other objects accumulate on the floor every day, but these items are hazards which can cause accidents and injuries. Should you identify an area where this occurs more often than normal, more frequent attention should be paid to cleaning and trash removal. Other items, such as oil or water on the walking surface, are prime sources for slips and falls and need to be cleaned immediately. Combustible trash, such as paper and cardboard boxes, are fire hazards and should not be allowed to accumulate. Housekeeping is a very important part of safety. Hazardous materials and wastes, such as solvents, flammable liquids, paints, and aerosols, also require proper care, use, and storage. The hazardous materials section in your checklist provides inspection guidelines, but your good judgment will be the key factor in identifying potential hazards relating to the storing, using, handling, and disposing of hazardous materials and wastes. Particular attention should be paid to the proper storage, labeling, and handling of chemicals and hazardous materials. Machinery inspections also require special attention. Thousands of pieces of equipment, each unique to a specific task, requires the inspection expertise of people working with the equipment. Proper guarding needs to be in place and operational. Electrical cables, plugs, and switches must be in good, serviceable condition. Fuel-powered equipment should be inspected for any leaks which may become fire hazards. When inspecting this equipment, consider how it's used and the safeguards the manufacturer has determined are necessary to make the equipment safe. If you find a machine or a piece of equipment which appears to have been modified, especially if the modification is to any of the safety features, determine if the modification has been authorized by the manufacturer. Modifying a machine from the manufacturer's specifications usually voids the warranty and makes the person performing the modification liable for any problems. Other considerations during an inspection include fire prevention. Fire extinguishers should be checked to make sure they're in their proper place, in good condition, and fully charged. Extinguishers should have a current service tag in place indicating it has been serviced annually. Okay, let's review some of the terminology and information used on the checklists. The first column is the item number or requirement and is to be used as a reference in the comments section. If you make a comment about item number G1, put G1 in the comments section as a reference. The person reviewing the comment can go to G1 on the checklist for more information about your comment. In other words, if you run out of room to write comments in the Hazard Action Required column, go to the Comments section referring to your item number to continue your comments. The person reviewing the information can easily find your additional comments. Column number 2 cites the appropriate safety standard. If you have any questions about the standard, ask your supervisor. Column number 3 is the requirements section. This section contains a paraphrased summary of the safety standard and is your guide for what should be inspected. As an example, under Electrical Safety Requirements, item E8, the requirements include the statement, quote, "Are all electrical receptacles, cords, or plugs in good condition with the ground pin not damaged, bent, or removed?" There's a column for a yes answer, a no answer, and a column to indicate NA, or not applicable. If you marked no, you will need to complete the Hazard Action Required section. If this box is not large enough for an explanation, reference the item number E8 and continue your comments in the Comments section or on a separate sheet of paper. Let's go to the Personal Protective Equipment and look at item P9. The requirement is, are all employees that are exposed to harmful dusts, fumes, mists, vapors, or gases provided with and use respiratory protective equipment? Yes, no, or NA, again, are your choices. If you're able to respond with a yes, then go to the next item. If it's not applicable or there's none required for your specific work location, go to the next item. If you respond with a no answer, you need to provide an explanation in the Hazard Action Required column. You're going to find areas where there are no checklist items, but you believe a hazard exists. That's when you should use the Inspector's Comments section on the back page to explain the hazard so it can be investigated and corrected. Initially, you may find many areas where your good judgment and experience find hazards not listed on the checklist. We need your assistance in locating these items, which can be incorporated into future checklist updates. After you complete the checklist, complete the front page by answering the requested information. Include the name of the department being inspected, the facility, since there may be more than one facility for the department, the address of the facility, the date of the inspection, the inspector's name, and signature. Your organization makes the determination of how often these inspections are conducted, who receives the report, and how long they are retained in your files. When you're completing the inspections, remember that by your actions, accidents and injuries are being prevented. These completed checklists serve as documentation the inspections were conducted and also provide documentation of what action was taken to correct the hazards identified during the inspections. If there's a serious violation or condition that could cause an accident and you're unable to correct the condition yourself, notify your supervisor immediately. Safety is a team effort, and the job you do as a safety inspector will make your work environment a safer and healthier place to work. Follow your organization's policies and procedures for workplace inspection, as this is only a guide. All potential hazards cannot be found on any checklist, so use your good judgment when deciding what to inspect in each specific department. You're the professional with the most knowledge about your department, and it's your experience and judgment that makes the difference in identifying and correcting safety hazards and unsafe conditions. Thank you.